Live and Learn is more than just one of the best songs in Sonic history. It also feels like a philosophy Sega has taken to heart with Sonic Racing CrossWorlds. I've spent over 35 hours drifting, boosting, and gathering rings across an excellent set of tracks that span Sonic's 34-year history. Minutes effortlessly turned into hours perfecting my drifting technique, customizing my vehicles, finding the optimal race lines and time trials, and frantically competing with friends to be the Grand Prix champion. Sonic Racing CrossWorlds could have just been another pit stop among a Grand Prix of 2025 kart racers, but instead it put the pedal to the metal and refused to let me take my hands off the wheel. Crossworlds Racing is quick to pick up thanks to its intuitive and straightforward controls, essentially boiling down to 4 main actions: accelerate, drift, brake, and using items. Racing feels great whether you're zipping into shortcuts, landing massive trick combos for a boost, or nailing a complicated drift that asks you to rapidly change direction on a curvy path. I love how the vehicles feel as every action fluidly transforms from one into the next, provided my opponents didn't send any items my way. The generous placement of boost panels and item capsules on most courses meant it rarely took more than a few seconds to get back on track, and you can reduce that lag time even further depending on how you tune your vehicle. Power vehicles are great at shoving other racers around, handling vehicles make it easier to nail even the trickiest of sharp turns, and the long-awaited return of Sonic Riders hoverboards enabled me to boost like no other when hitting dash panels or using the boosting Wisp items. The headlining feature is the fantastic Crossworlds mechanic. Outside of the final race during a Grand Prix, the second lap of each race almost seamlessly transports everyone to a different course. Warping from the naval scenery of Metal Harbor to the incredibly curvy Chow Park or another Crossworld course will keep you on your toes every race. Different vehicle types excel on different tracks, so making the second lap random adds depth when customizing your ride, since you need to consider variables beyond just the course you've chosen. My speed-focused vehicle would sing on tracks with many straightaways, but would often give up a few positions to racers who tuned for handling on tracks with constant curves, so it always had one loadout focused on being adaptable. You'll occasionally transform into flight and water forms too, and I was never unhappy to seize the opportunity to change things up. Flight forms always handled like a dream, though a few of the water form sections can feel clunky until you figure out the correct timing to accelerate, drift, and trick on each course. The last lap of each race returns to the original track, but there are significant changes during it. Paths that were inaccessible open up, improved item boxes appear, and more hazards show up on the course. There are even significant structural changes, like a rocket in Metal Harbor finally launching, which removes 2 paths and forces everyone into a newly formed spine. Even without the Crossworlds mechanic, the courses available at launch are all excellent. There are 15 tracks that can only arrive during that second lap, and then 24 main courses for them to show up in, with Coral Town possibly being my favorite. Its looping paths create so many routes that I'm still wrapping my head around which one is the most ideal. Other standouts are classic stages like Market Street, which originated as Rooftop Run in Sonic Unleashed, and Radical Highway from Sonic Adventure 2, which had me riding the main cables to the top to leave my competitors behind. Every course feels perfectly tuned with risks and rewards. Different routes have different advantages, with some having more rings to help you reach your maximum top speed, while others having more boost panels to provide some speed in the short run in the hopes you'll either get far enough ahead to not need the extra rings, or at least have enough breathing room to pick them up later. A kart racer wouldn't be complete without items to inject a little chaos, and most of Crossworlds had me shouting with equal amounts of either excitement or bitterness depending on if I was on the giving or receiving end. The iconic Wisps from Sonic Colors are here, letting me cut across off-road sections and dodge certain attacks like the punishing slime and weight items, but the Tornado quickly became my favorite item because of its ability to negate most incoming attacks while also dealing damage to as many opponents that I could bump into. And then there's the Monster Truck, because who doesn't love doing this? You can customize your races with gadgets which offer a wide range of extremely impactful bonuses. Your racing skills still remain the most important factor, but when utilized to their maximum potential, gadgets can be the difference between getting first and fourth place. You can pre-build 5 gadget panels and then swap between them before each race, which helps you adjust to specific situations. There are gadgets to alter your vehicle's stats, improve drift performance, increase the rings you can carry, and grant unique starting items that normally can't be found in races, like a warp ring that teleports you on top of the racer just ahead of you, causing you to squish them. Building my panels became a tiny puzzle with no wrong answers, and it scratched that min-maxing itch I love in games. Your base stats are determined by your character and vehicle choice, and the roster has characters from Sonic Adventure, Heroes, Riders, Advance, Rush, and even the recent newcomers like Sage from Frontiers. It didn't take long for me to find my favorite in Shadow using a modified speed type vehicle, so much that I used him to clear all 8 cups on the Sonic Speed and Supersonic Speed difficulty.
A foregone conclusion.
While it was rare for most CPU opponents to give me trouble, a few of the Grand Prix still had the ideal amount of challenge thanks to CrossWorld's modular rival system. That picks a random character to be your rival for a Grand Prix, and they then act as a supercharged CPU. They also interject with snarky comments, adding a bit of character to what could have just been a slightly more competent CPU racer.
Disappear, you weak blue hedgehog. It's not over yet, Shadow.
As you race, you'll earn Donpa tickets based on your performance and by achieving certain feats. That includes things like using the most items or being the one to choose the course for lap 2. Tickets unlock various car parts for customization options, increasing your friendship with the character, and let you retry a race without resetting the entire Grand Prix, which cuts down on a lot of pointless repetition. But befriending characters is the biggest ticket sink, as it will take thousands of races if your goal is to maximize your ranking with everyone. Giving your favorite characters tickets will earn you cosmetics like titles, decals, and alternate costumes in return. These specific unlockables get really expensive really fast. It took me 3,000 tickets to earn the first 4 rewards for Shadow, including 1 alternate costume, and there is still more for me to unlock. It's clear that Sega is hoping this will be a system that keeps you drawn in, but I have mixed feelings on this. It gives dedicated fans something to chase, but the rate for earning tickets currently feels a bit too stingy when compared to the cost of unlocking some cosmetics. That sticker shock could get even worse when you consider the fact that new characters are already on the horizon, including Hatsune Miku, Joker from Persona 5, and Ichiban from the Like a Dragon franchise, all of which have been announced as upcoming free editions, though as of now, based solely on what's available for Hatsune Miku, they don't seem to have those options. There will also be characters and tracks for SpongeBob, TMNT, and Avatar: The Last Airbender coming as part of the paid season pass. Sega says it plans to support CrossWorlds with new content like this each month for at least the first year after launch, which is an impressive pace given there's already plenty at launch. When you want to change a pace from racing in Grand Prix, one distraction is the race park, which allows you to create custom matches. In addition to the regular 12-player free-for-all race style, there are also special team modes with rules that grant bonuses for grabbing the most rings, colliding with teammates, using the most dash panels, or landing the most item hits on opponents. These modes were a blast with my friends, as they didn't fully rely on who knew the courses the best. It's also something worth playing for a bit, as there are 8 different rival CPU teams to take down that unlock special vehicles you can then customize with other parts. The custom rule set is a standout feature here for local multiplayer too, giving you control over how many races you do back to back, which courses can appear as Crossworld's second lap, what items appear in item boxes, and the speed and difficulty level while racing. The race park's one drawback, however, is that gadget panels can be overly influential here, and it's a bummer there are no preset default options so friends don't have to build their own from scratch while visiting. There's also a time trial mode, which unexpectedly ended up being where I spent more time than anywhere else. I found myself tinkering with the various car parts and gadgets and rewatching my own ghosts to see what I could change or where I could improve. I guess that's what happens when you put the most enticing thing possible as the reward: Sonic music. CrossWorlds rarely fails to impress with its nearly 100 unique tracks. The primary songs are excellent, with popular tracks like Radical Highway, Market Street, Ocean View, and plenty others all getting the CrossWorlds treatment. And for you Sonic Adventure 2 fans, don't worry, because Escape from the City is here, but you'll need to clear all 78 time trials with at least an A ranking to unlock it. Similar to Sonic X Shadow Generations from last year, unlocking this music lets you assemble a custom playlist and then change the music for each lap, which then impressively transition into each other. The last and potentially the most critical element that could decide whether CrossWorlds takes the podium is how online play functions. We only had a few days to test it ahead of launch, but to my enjoyment, it worked as well as I'd hoped, with the caveat that my not quite full lobbies were regularly supplemented with CPUs to fill the remaining spots. Still, I saw virtually no lag with my wired connection. Online does have a drawback compared to this year's Mario Kart World since it's limited to just one player per console, but the inclusion of crossplay is at least a decent trade-off. You're even incentivized to play online by unlocking more gadgets as you rank up. It's great that my custom soundtracks and everything I earned in offline mode carried over, and you're still able to earn all the offline gadgets by playing online. Starting online will leave you at a disadvantage compared to others like myself who spent time earning gadgets first, which also could have been mitigated by some preset default gadget plate options.
Final lap!
Sonic Racing Crossworlds is firing on all cylinders with a fantastic roster of 24 of my favorite hedgehogs, foxes, echidnas, and more. The tracks are the best design selection we've ever gotten in any Sonic Racing game, and there's a generationally great soundtrack to accompany them. The racing itself feels fast, fantastic, and intuitive, with lots of options to tweak your stats to your preferred playstyle. There are plenty of modes that entertain my friends and me for hours, though I do wish it had the option for split screen when playing online. The titular Crossworld mechanic is a fantastic idea that keeps each race fresh and is a great way to potentially turn the tables on opponents thanks to a lengthy list of customization options. Sonic Racing Crossworlds is one that I know I'll enjoy playing plenty more in the months to come, crossing the finish line as my new favorite kart racing game of all time.
Finish!
For more, check out our reviews of Hollow Knight Silksong or Borderlands 4, and for everything else, stick with IGN.
Sonic Racing.